There's this guy named Alexander Karp, Alex Karp, and he's this billionaire we've talked about recently. He gave a speech at this Reagan Center event for national security, and he's got a dog in the hunt. He's the CEO of a big software firm called Planetary Technologies, and a whole bunch of his clients are great big nation states or departments of nation states. So he definitely has a dog in the hunt. He's the 423rd wealthiest person in the world. So he's pretty poor at $7.3 billion. He's only 43rd. But he said some fascinating things. This got me to thinking about an AI war. Information, they say, is power. I disagree. It's potential power. But man, the potential power being banked up in AI, this is the world's prize. If China won the AI war, let's say, locked us out, like, how does that end? And do we really think they're not making that effort? I wonder how much of what China did recently with the attempt to sue that great big chip maker, NVIDIA, they're looking at them for monopoly, trying to shut down their share price. I wonder about how much of that is related to an AI war. Information is potential power. Here's some information for you. Our medical system in America is no longer a healthcare system. I think we've made that very, very clear. It's a pharmaceutical system. It's a surgical system. It's not about delivering healthcare. Here's some potential information for you with some potential power. We in this country burn as medical waste some of the most potent curing properties in the world. When we burn placentas and umbilical cords, we are burning the stem cells in those placentas and umbilical cords. And when they come out of the woman, and right during that birth process, they have in them living cells that had been designed to build baby. So they are leftover cells. Had the baby continued to gestate, those cells would have continued to go in and build baby. So what parts of baby? Well, muscle, tendon, cartilage, and many other parts of the body. They're still packed with that building capability, but in America, they're burned as medical waste. Not in Mexico. My friends at Renew.Healthcare pay for the birthing process of women all the way through the process, whether or not they use their stem cells, because they reject a large number of the stem cells, a large percentage, because they don't meet their quality standards. They follow the health of the woman and the baby through the entire process, and afterwards, they take those stem cells to Mexico, never anything to do with abortion, by the way, just placentas and umbilical cords, and then they culture those cells, meaning they grow them so they can go from 5 million cells to 40 million. That's what I've had put into my body 2 times to destroy inflammation after surgery and to immediately begin rebuilding tendon and muscle. And I am here to tell you there is no comparison between a shoulder surgery without stem cells from Renew and with. If you're being told you're going to be in pain for the rest of your life, or you have to have this surgery, or it's going to take a year to recover from the surgery, or you know someone who's had a traumatic brain injury, we've seen incredible results having people overcome this, or you have repetitive stress like carpal tunnel, pause. Get out of the American healthcare trap, the medicine trap, the pharma trap, and go to Renew.Healthcare. It's RENUE.Healthcare. Tell them you're part of the Todd Herman Show family. They'll tell you if they can help you. It's RENUE.Healthcare. This is Alex Karp talking about the AI revolution, which you may think is overblown. But if you just think about it from a perspective of an ultimate victory, a war, and the Chinese Communist Party ultimately won the AI war, you might think differently.
America is in the very beginning of a revolution that we own, the AI revolution. And we own it. It should basically be called the US AI revolution. Every single relevant company in the world is in this country. The second tier of those companies are in this country. The JV of these companies are in this country. There is no other place to do technology really at scale besides America right now. And Europe is basically decided to regulate its basically anemic and non-existent tech scene out of production. All those people want to come to America. The American tech community is booming. And And so, you know, behind all of this is a macro backdrop of, you know, this is actually a revolution. It's very hard to see now because it's kind of the beginning innings, and a lot of these large language models, incorrectly applied, are just science projects. But if you have the right layer to implement them, you can actually transform your business in days. And this is happening across America. And it's not happening anywhere else. It's not happening in Europe. No one's who wants to build a company in China or Russia. It's happening right here. And that macro trend is going to change everything that we do. Everyone in this room, every trend, war and peace, how we fight, where we fight, are humans fighting, are they not fighting? How do we code those decisions into code because it's too quick? How do we get ahead of our adversaries?
How about this? How do we opt out? The AI revolution is not something we can stop. China's not going to step back from it. Russia's not going to step back from it. And if you think about an actual victor, imagine the Chinese Communist Party through hacking in partnership with Russia and others, or through just advancing far beyond us in terms of quantum computers, or stealing our tech, or paying off our scientists, or hacking our tech. If they won that and their tech became supreme, take what's happening in New Jersey, where there's these massive drones flying over the city of New Jersey, the New Jersey coast, the state of New Jersey. And our public officials are going, yeah, we can't stop that. We don't know who's doing that. Wait, so you can't inform us as to what these great big drones are? Nope. Multiply that by 10 billion tiny little drones targeting every American. How do we opt out? I don't know that we can. But shouldn't we have the opportunity? Am I talking about a form of being a voluntary Luddite? Perhaps. But I'm thinking of communities that simply are not going to have this. What would that look like? This should be a bill in front of the Congress for the ability for states to create tech-free communities that are just simply not going to play into the digital sphere. We're not going to have digital phones. We're not going to have self-driving cars. We're not going to have smart thermostats. We're going to have neighborhoods that are completely operating based on the old ways that cannot be hacked at scale, cannot be controlled this way. And what would it be like if we said, what is the wisdom of putting so-called AI in control of anything? See, here's the challenge. If we are not relying upon the word of God, if we are not saying that some trust in chariots and horses, but we trust in every word that proceeds from the mouth of God, we're getting very, very near to a point where we're going to give God-like capabilities, not to create life, not to launch the universe, not to affect our souls, but to control our every movement to machines. I'm not saying that they're going to become self-aware. They may or they may not. I don't know that it matters because their designers are self-aware. And if AI is the future and these stakes are real, then countries, nation states are going to go at war for that battlefield, and maybe someone will win. I'd like the opportunity to opt out. I'd like to see great big parts of our country opt out. They'd be harder to take over, and that would just flat frustrate some people.